Okay, I want to talk to you guys about something that is similar to manifesting, but in a kind of a different way. And that is foretelling, foreseeing, and prophecy. So I'm going to give you guys a story. I have an uncle, and my uncle passed away a few years ago. But prior to passing away, many years prior to passing away, my uncle was living with my mother. And one day, according to the story my mother gave me, my uncle said to her that he was going to die in 5 years' time. And he knew this because he said the good Lord had already came to him in a vision or a dream. I'm not exactly sure the method. And told him that he had 5 years left to live. My uncle went and lived his life during that time, and he prepared for dying in 5 years. And guess what? My uncle literally died like almost 5 years to the day from the time in which he said he was going to die. And most people are like, oh, no one knows when they're going to die. No one knows. Well, yes, you do. Some people do. Because some people have a relationship with their creator to where they believe that they can receive this type of information, this type of communication from God, from source, from their maker. Whatever title you use. And in believing such, they are able to predict things and foresee things and know things prior to the time of them happening. There have been other people and other stories, because of course I worked in healthcare for many, many years. There have been other stories of people who were at the point of death, or at least everyone around them thought they were at the point of death. And those people have said, no, God said, it is not my time. And they did not pass away. Some of those people went on to live a couple years beyond that. So why do I mention this to you? I mention this to you because faith is rather important. What you believe is incredibly important for your overall life. If you believe that you will never achieve anything, you are 100% correct. If you believe that God has forsaken you, you are 100% correct. Yet, if you believe that you are going to see a turnaround in your life and that things are going to get better for you, you are also correct. Your faith is extremely important, and sometimes we believe things that aren't good for us. And when we take the time to sit with ourselves in our closet and really ponder those things, we are able to see the fallacy in that thinking, and sometimes with some help, we can turn that situation around. Now, in my uncle's case, my uncle was an alcoholic for the majority of his life. So, of course, he had some issues. He also had some other health concerns from accidents and things of that nature. Many people considered him to pretty much be on his way out the door back then when he told my mom that he had 5 years left to live. So, in his mind, when people may have been counting down his days, he kind of had a thought of when his time would be over. And he lived according to that. What thoughts do you have for your life? So for those who read the Bible and there's a particular set of scriptures that have been interpreted to indicate that human beings are promised to live 70 years on this earth. Now, I've had a conversation with my dad, and there's a different interpretation of the same scripture that says something more like 700 years. Either way, if you believe that you are promised 70 years on this earth and nothing more, what could happen to you is what recently happened to a pastor that I know. And he was really, really dear man. He died a few days after his 70th birthday. Which means that in his mind, he made it to the promised number, 70. Now, there's plenty of people who live beyond 70. There's people who live to be in their hundreds. There's plenty of people who die before 70. But for a lot of people in the Southern Christian faith, making it to 70 is the ticket. Everything else is considered a bonus. Right? So in his mind, he may have done enough to reach the bonus. Okay? So my question to you is, what do you believe? Where is your faith? And I'm not talking necessarily about what your circumstances say. I'm talking about what is it that you believe that it could happen for you in your life, regardless of what other people think could happen in your life. And whatever it is that you believe, how are you able to make that into a reality? What would it take for your life to become what you believe it can become? So, think about that as you carry on. And here's where I am with my little picture. And I will see you guys on the next time.